All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are jumping right into the incredible world of biopharmaceuticals. I mean, this is a field where medicine isn't just mixed in a lab, it's literally grown. We're talking about a place where biology and high tech are merging to completely reshape the future of how we heal.
Yeah, that idea right there, that's really the heart of it all. It's a total mind shift, isn't it? We've gone from just creating drugs to literally programming living cells to heal our bodies from the inside out. And that's the big concept we're going to unpack together today.
Which brings us to the big question, right? It sounds amazing, but what exactly are biopharmaceuticals? It's a fair question, and to really get why this is such a game changer, we have to start with the basics.
Okay, so first up, let's tackle the big idea. We're going to get right to the core of what biopharma is and what makes these medicines so fundamentally different from, the pills in your medicine cabinet.
It really just boils down to this simple difference. Think about traditional drugs, like aspirin. They're what we call small molecules, made through pretty straightforward chemical reactions. You can almost picture them as simple little keys, cut from a piece of metal. But biopharmaceuticals, they're on a whole other level. They are massive, super complex proteins made by living, genetically engineered cells. So they're not simple keys. They're more like intricate biological machines designed for a very specific job. And listen, when I say massive, I am not kidding. A biologic can be up to 10,000 times larger than one of those traditional small molecule drugs. Just think about that scale for a second. And it's that sheer size and complexity that allows them to do these incredibly specific, targeted jobs in the body that a simple little chemical could never pull off. And the speed at which this field has evolved, it's just been breathtaking. I mean, it really kicked off in the 80s with the first lab-grown human insulin, a total game changer. Then, bam, by the 2000s, we were engineering antibodies to hunt down cancer cells. Fast forward to the 2010s, and we're talking about personalized medicine made for your unique genes. And now, we're in the middle of the mRNA and gene editing revolution with stuff like CRISPR. It's just this incredible, non-stop acceleration of innovation. All right, next up, we're going to see how two very different worlds collided to create this industry. Because you can't really understand biopharma without looking at the two powerhouses that built it. You've got the established giants of traditional pharma on one side, and the quick, nimble innovators of biotech on the other.
See, at their heart, they come from totally different places. Pharma, that's chemistry-based medicine. They mastered the art of creating these simple, synthetic molecules. Biotech, on the other hand, was born from biology and genetic engineering. It's all about harnessing the power of living things. So you have the world of beakers and chemical reactions versus the world of cells and DNA.
And this table really lays out their different approaches perfectly. Biotech, they're focused on these big, complex biologics from living cells, and they often go after rare and genetic diseases. Pharma, they're the experts in small, synthetic molecules for stuff that affects millions of people. And here's a really key takeaway. Making a copy of a pharma drug is pretty easy. We call that a generic. But trying to perfectly copy a complex biologic made by a living cell, that is incredibly difficult. That's why we call their copies biosimilars, not generics. So the real magic, the real breakthrough, happens when you bring these two worlds together. That's what the term biopharma really means. It's this powerful hybrid that takes the cutting-edge, sometimes risky innovation from biotech and plugs it into the massive manufacturing scale and global reach of big pharma. And we've all seen this exact thing play out in real time. I mean, the COVID-19 vaccine is the perfect example, right? You had BioNTech, a smaller biotech company with the brilliant mRNA idea, but it took a pharma giant like Pfizer to actually make and distribute millions of doses to the world. Another great example is when Roche, a pharma powerhouse, bought the biotech pioneer Genentech. That merger created one of the biggest forces in cancer treatment, period. Okay, so we know what they are, and we know where they came from, but how in the world are these incredibly complex medicines actually made? Let's go take a peek inside the biofactory. Well, it basically boils down to a two-part recipe. You've got upstream processing, which is all about growing the product, and then downstream processing, which is all about purifying it. So, let's start with upstream. This is really the biological heart of the whole operation. What scientists do is they take a specific line of cells, and believe it or not, they often use cells from Chinese hamster ovaries, just called CHO cells. And they insert the exact gene that tells the cell how to make the protein they need. Then, they put these cells into massive steel tanks called bioreactors and basically create the perfect spa for them, feeding them nutrients and letting them multiply into the billions, all becoming these tiny, efficient protein factories.
Okay, so once those little cell factories have pumped out enough protein, the downstream process kicks in. And this is a serious engineering challenge. The goal is to fish out that one specific protein you want from this, well, complex soup of cell parts and other gunk. It's this super precise, multi-step marathon of filtration and purification, all to get a final product that is unbelievably pure and completely safe for a patient to use.
And holding this entire process together are these incredibly strict rules called Good Manufacturing Practices, or GMP. Every single step, from beginning to end, is controlled, monitored, and documented. This is all to guarantee that the final drug is consistent, safe, and does what it's supposed to do. There's absolutely zero room for error here. So, we've covered the what and the how. That brings us to our final and maybe most exciting section, the next revolution. Let's look ahead and see where this incredible technology is actually taking the future of medicine. I mean, look, biopharma is already a $500 billion industry, and it is not slowing down. The biggest piece of that pie, the main engine driving it, is the boom in personalized therapies. We're talking about medicines tailor-made for your specific genetic code. But you can also see that it's being pushed forward by things like global vaccination efforts, the arrival of more affordable biosimilars, and just getting better and better at actually making these complex drugs. And if you think that's impressive, the future is where it gets truly mind-blowing. We are talking about gene editing tools like CRISPR that could one day go in and directly fix the DNA typos that cause genetic diseases. We're seeing the mRNA tech that gave us vaccines now being repurposed to teach our immune systems how to kill cancer. And on top of all that, artificial intelligence is turbocharging drug discovery, cutting down R&D time. It's all pushing us toward a future of truly, deeply personalized medicine.
So what does this all mean? Well, ultimately, we're shifting away from an era of just managing symptoms to an era where we can target the actual root cause of a disease, and in some cases, maybe even cure it for good. And that really forces us to ask a huge question. With tools this powerful, are we on the verge of completely redefining what's possible for medicine and for all of us?